So you crack open that Spanish textbook, right? And what's staring back at you? A whole page of verb conjugations. Then you see it, the dreaded subjunctive mood. It feels like you're gearing up for this epic battle. But what if I told you you're fighting the wrong war altogether? Now, before we get into that, if you enjoy stories like this one, please do me a favor and follow the channel and share the story. It really does help this page grow, and it lets me keep creating more content for you. Okay, so for most of us, this whole battle starts in a pretty confusing place.
Yeah, starting a new language, it kind of feels like you've been dropped to the entrance of this huge winding maze, doesn't it? Like every time you turn a corner, bam, there's a new complicated rule just waiting for you. And the actual path to sounding fluent, it feels like it's buried somewhere deep inside, almost impossible to find. And we're always told that deep inside this maze, there are these monsters you have to defeat. You know the ones. There's that fiery rolled R dragon, you gotta master that sound, or else. Then you've got the super confusing two-faced twins, ser and estar. They both mean to be, but oh no, you can't just use them whenever you want. And of course, the big boss at the end, the shadowy subjunctive maze. It's this whole grammatical mood that we barely even use in English anymore. So what do? We spend months, sometimes even years, sharpening our little grammar swords to go fight these monsters. We're convinced that slaying them is the only way out of the maze. But here's the thing. According to the polyglot Steve Kaufman, and his ideas are really the heart of this whole story, we've been given a completely wrong map. We're fighting a battle that we don't even need to be fighting. At least, not right now. His advice is super direct. He literally just says, none of that matters. Just let that sink in for a second. All that anxiety you feel about rolling your R's perfectly, all the stress of figuring out when to use ser versus estar, all those headaches from staring at subjunctive charts, he says that at the beginning, it's all just noise. And focusing on it isn't just hard, it's paralyzing. It stops you dead in your tracks before you've even really begun the journey. And this idea, it completely flips the script. It's a total shift in strategy. See, the old goal, the one that whole grammar labyrinth is built around, is all about perfect production. Speaking without a single mistake. But the new goal? It's something else entirely. It's about deep comprehension. So what if your mission wasn't to speak flawlessly? What if it was just to be able to watch a movie on Netflix and get what's going on? Or to really feel the music in a song? Or to just get lost in a good book without having to look up every other word? I mean, that changes everything, right? Suddenly, the journey isn't a stressful battle against grammar monsters anymore. It becomes an adventure, a quest to just understand, the stories, the culture, the people behind the language. Okay, so what does this quest actually look like in practice? Well, Kaufman suggests a kind of 3-month immersion to get started. First, you build up your core. You do this with really simple, repetitive stuff, like the mini stories he talks about. You just listen to them again and again. Then you step out into the real world. You fire up Netflix and put on a telenovela from Mexico, or a cool series from Spain, maybe some music from Colombia. And here is the absolute key. Your only job is to absorb it all. You're not supposed to be dissecting sentences or analyzing grammar. You're just trying to get the gist of the story. And you just keep doing this, consistently. Days roll into weeks, weeks roll into months. You're not grinding away with flashcards. You're not memorizing verb tables. You're just listening, watching, and letting it all sink in. And then, one evening, probably when you least expect it, the big moment, the climax of your quest, finally arrives. Picture this. You're totally sucked into a show on Netflix. You're leaning forward on your couch during a tense scene, or you're actually laughing out loud at a joke. You're feeling what the characters are feeling. The subtitles might be off, or maybe they're on in Spanish, but you're not even really looking at them. And that whole idea that you're studying Spanish, it's just gone. It has completely disappeared from your mind. And then it just hits you, like a bolt of lightning. You realize you're not translating word for word in your head anymore. You're not just catching a few familiar phrases here and there. No, you're actually following the story. You get the plot twists, you get the jokes, you get the emotion. You're no longer listening to Spanish. You're just listening. And that is the breakthrough. See, this is the real treasure at the end of the quest. It turns out fluency isn't some prize you get for slaying all those grammar dragons. It's something that just happens. It's the natural result of doing something way more fun, getting so lost in a world of amazing stories that the language just kind of soaks into your brain. So, when you get right down to it, the secret isn't some magic trick or a crazy shortcut. It's just a choice. It's the choice to stop that frustrating, painful climb up Grammar Mountain and instead take the scenic, much more enjoyable route through the Valley of Stories. And the speaking part? Don't worry, that'll come. It'll come later, naturally, from a place of real strength, once your brain is actually full of the language.
Your teachers aren't going to be found in dusty textbooks. They're the filmmakers, the musicians, the writers, the everyday people from an entire world of Spanish speakers. This whole journey isn't about memorizing stuff. It's about connecting with something new. It's about discovery.
So really, the only question left to ask is, where are you going to start? You going to dive into a gritty crime drama from Argentina, a hilarious romantic comedy from Spain, or maybe the powerful lyrics of a legendary musician? The choice is totally yours. And hey, if this story made you think a little differently, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And make sure to follow the channel for more stories like this that can change the way you see things.